Hey guys, how's it going? Everybody doing all right? I'm going to wait just a few more minutes and see if we get some more people to show up. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and type them in the channel. Can y'all hear me? Test, test. All right, so microphone's working. All right, good. All right, perfect. Sure, we'll probably get a few more people that might pop in here along the way. Any questions from any of you guys so far? Let me know if you guys have any questions about any charts or anything. If you want to look at something, let me know until we get a few more in here. Okay, how does resistance become support? Perfect example I'm going to show you right here on Bitcoin. All right, so if we're looking at Bitcoin, this is a 4-hour chart, and if you look at this area, let me get my mouse highlighter. That'll make it easier to look at. You'll be able to see where I'm pointing to. Let me open that. Give me one sec. Find it. There it is. Okay. Well, thought I had. There we go. All right. So basically, if you look right here, okay, when Bitcoin was really coming down, you'll notice that when it bounced, it came up and it couldn't get past this area, right? So that's resistance. Okay. Comes down, up again, didn't quite make it up to here, but look what happens. It comes back over here to this area and still can't get through it, right? So that becomes resistance, big resistance. Now, when you pop through, you finally pop through, what we're looking for, most oftentimes, when you pop through on something like this, when it comes down, you want to see this area hold as support. It took so long to get through it that now it should be support, okay? Does that make sense? I mean, you can obviously see the type of move that we had, not to mention the neckline breaking on the inverted head and shoulders. That had a lot to do with it. But this certainly didn't hurt. I mean, that's why you had such a huge pop. Any word on the hearings today? I saw some news, and it looks like, I mean, overall, it was kind of a positive, you know, for Bitcoin. I don't think that there was a lot of bad stuff said about it, at least in the congressional hearings. Now, the Federal Reserve Chairman actually came out, and I think this is what caused it to go down just a little bit, is that he was saying Bitcoin's not a currency, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, of course he's going to say that because he's the Federal Reserve of the biggest bank in the world. It's a threat to him. So, of course he's going to say something like that. But anyway, I think it's impressive, though, that Bitcoin did not dramatically sell off on that type of news. I think that kind of shows how bullish it is. So anyway, that's kind of the area that I'm looking for, guys. If we come back in here and retrace, this is a 4-hour chart. We actually broke through the 161.8 retracement, but only wicked through it. Didn't get a candle close above it. Not to mention that we got close to back testing this huge uptrend line from way back. So there's still some resistance overhead, but I think it's resistance that eventually is going to get taken out. So that's what I've got on the 4-hour chart. And obviously, you know, if I zoom in here a little bit, I'll just kind of zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. I mean, Bitcoin's doing a fairly nice job of holding the 10 EMA, all right? It's doing a nice job of that. I still think that eventually it's going to get down into here. That's around 7,000. I could be wrong, but the way things are lining up, the RSI is oversold or overbought here. It's starting to come out of overbought here. So let's see how far she retraces, and then we'll look at it again tomorrow. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. But if you're long, I mean, I don't see any reason to really bail out of it, or at least not all of your position. I mean, if you want to try to trade some, that's fine, but you still want to have a leg in the market, in my opinion. Okay. Here is the daily chart. Ahmad, what do you... It won't let you post a link in here. Can you tell me what it's about? So while you're figuring that out, let's look at the daily chart real quick. So obviously we had the nice neckline break. The target, and I actually put it on, let me pull over my futures chart and I'll show you what I've got on it because it looks a little better. All right, so basically the measurement for the move is 78.01. That's a measured move for the inverted head and shoulders. I'm not too, you know, as far as being an expert on Elliott waves or anything like that, but I hear some people talking like it's going to pull back a little bit and then take off for another run like a fifth wave or whatnot. I don't know about that. All I can say is that 78.01, we'll see what happens. And oh, by the way, guys, what did I tell you about gaps? They get filled, right? There's one of them right there, that huge gap that got filled. There's still another one right up here at 8,200. Okay? And then there's another one that's way up above, and we won't go into that, but it's up there at 13,000. So, anyway, I'm fully expecting that we're going to go up and we're going to test 8,200. I think that gap is going to get filled. It's going to be a little interesting to see how we get there and how long it takes, but the bull trend is there, okay? And I think right here was as good example as a bottom as any. I mean, you had the gap reversal. That's an island gap reversal that just trapped bears, just trapped them, and then takes off. So still looking good. We got the 50 EMA right here in yellow. I'm looking at it to see if it's going to hold. And you got the 10 and the 20 EMA that are hooking up. So at some point, it may come back and test those, but it doesn't mean it's going to test it down here. It could test it up in here. Okay? So we're about watching the trend lines right now, and, you know, or the Fibonacci retracements. And so, what, 6,900 to 7,000? That probably looks like a good area to me. But, again, Bitcoin does not listen to me, so that's that. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Does anybody have any questions before I move on from Bitcoin? One you shared on Telegram. Let's see, Bitcoin dominance at 43.7. Okay. Mike Luca, what three shoulders are you talking about on the daily? Let me go look. And how far back are you looking? How to find gaps. Okay, good question. You're not going to find gaps on Coinigy or TradingView, okay? And the way I find them is that this is my TD Ameritrade account. It's a Thinkorswim platform, okay? Charting system. And I believe you can actually go on and get you a free one, and it's like a practice account. You know, they let you open an account and practice with money in there. So for all you new guys, if you're wanting to so-called trade Bitcoin before you actually use your own cash, you can try trading the futures and just see how you do, and it'll calculate your wins and losses. I think they give you, I don't know, $50,000 of play money to work with, but I wouldn't use all that. I would just use what's realistic to you. So you can go to TD Ameritrade and look around for Think or Swim, and you should be able to download it. But that's how you're going to find the gaps. You may be able to find it on TradingView if there's a futures, Bitcoin futures there, and there may be. The symbol for it, and I'll type it in the channel. Maybe somebody can go look. XBT. Okay, that's the symbol for the Bitcoin futures. Roger. Yeah, everybody wants to get back to 20,000. Okay, I get it. Yeah, so do I. Everybody's much happier. Okay, so if Binance has it, then, so basically gaps, and just to explain one more time what they are, okay, because what happens on the futures is that they close, at least to me, I look at the CBOE and the CME. That's the Chicago Board of Exchange and Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And they close at 3 o'clock Central Time on Friday. Okay, they reopen Sunday at around 5 or 5:30 Central Time. And so what happens, and where you get gaps from, is the trading, you know, or let's put it this way, what happens over the weekend, okay? in a major market, and it happens with the NASDAQ and it happens with the S&P 500, and it, you know, you just never know what's going to happen over the weekend. And so when people can't trade it, you know, news, you know, or whatever can affect, you know, affect the price. So when it closes at a certain area and then reopens lower with no trading in between, that is your gap. Okay, it just leaves people behind, so to speak. And it works vice versa. There's gaps on the upside as well. So, but what you want to look at on gaps is the quicker that they fill, more often the better. But the longer they take, then it's going to just continue with the trend that it established, which you can see over here with Bitcoin. With this gap right here, it gapped down, tried to come up and hit like gap resistance and couldn't make it through. So what happens? You get another wave down, right? Because it couldn't get through and try to go fill it. And then that's what created our island gap reversal and our inverted head and shoulders. Okay. Said we be seeing gaps in the charts. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to see them like on like the Bitcoin USD pair, not on TradingView or Coinigy. You're not going to see those. I mean, you're only going to see it in the futures charts, in my opinion. I mean, if you see it on TradingView, that's pretty rare. And I think we may have had one instance, or maybe I was thinking of the futures. It was an intraday deal, and I thought it looked kind of fishy. And I think that's right about the time that we hit that bottom. I think I came on Twitter. I said something about it. I think it looked real fishy to me, but but rarely do you see it intraday. You will see it like over the weekend from a Friday to a Sunday. And I would not disagree with Cliff High. I think that's very possible. Okay, so any other questions about Bitcoin? And I know I had somebody in the channel that wanted to look at, oh, okay, Digibyte. There we go. All right, so this is a daily chart of Bitcoin. Obviously, we had the nice run up, and I'm going to go back to, who was it in here that asked that question? My memory's bad. Was asking about the support and resistance. Yeah, that was the SWS. Okay, so this is a perfect example on a support and resistance type of deal, okay? You know, Digibyte struggled with this area right here, and it became resistance, okay? Still resistance, okay? Now look what happens. It breaks it, and it's coming back, and guess what? It's not dropping below it. So it becomes support. So basically all Digibyte is doing right now, and this looks really good, guys, if you're a holder of it, is that it's basically burned off. Look at this. The stochastic RSI was way overbought, and so here comes Digibyte, and it's almost down to the bottom. Okay, it's almost oversold now. And so we can look at previous times. You know, it tends to bounce. We'll see how far this bounces, right? But obviously on this last go around, this huge move here, it was at oversold. Now it had the regular RSI with it, but the regular RSI is pretty strong right here above 50. So, you know, I've always loved Digibyte. It'll always be a long-term hold for me. I don't try to chart it every day. I don't look at it every day. But it's one of those that hopefully will come around Christmas time, or maybe even next year, you know, I'll come back and be pleasantly surprised. So I'm not worried about it. So anyway, what I'm looking for, at least, is that, once it bottoms here, let's see what happens up here around, the 78.6. I've got a fib extension, and it came close on this last try. It came close to it at 713. So, it almost matched this move back here. Almost matched it on a one-to-one basis. Didn't quite get there, but it was close enough. But let's see what happens. If it gets above this area, it's probably going to take out the highs. Okay, and that's around 800. I mean, I like how the EMAs are setting up. It's, it could still obviously retrace a little bit more. I've got a cluster here at 494. So if it was to actually dip that low, that would actually be, in my opinion, a pretty good buying opportunity. So that's what I got on Digibyte. Please solve the ETP mystery. Okay, ETP. What in the heck is that? Is that I've never heard of it before. Metaverse. Is there a symbol? Give me a symbol if it's a coin so I can chart it, please. And what exchange is it on? Okay, Bitfinex. Okay. Do you want the USD pair or do you want the BTC pair? Or does it matter? Yeah, it looks like both are the same anyway. Let me go to I'll just go to the BTC pair. Okay. This is a daily chart. Okay, so is everybody wanting to know why it's going up? Is that what everybody's trying to figure out? Is there no news? It just going up, kind of following Bitcoin or whatever? Let's do some retracing on it. And let's do this first. And it wasn't quite the bottom. Let's go here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right, so it's hitting a 786 right there. And let's go all the way back. I don't see any clusters. Excuse me. Okay, I'll get those in a minute. Okay, so ETP. Wow, I mean that's a pretty healthy move right there. Let me zoom in and see if there's any kind of candle formations. Well, I don't see any big candle formations that tell me it's ultimately going to reverse real quick, but if it does, let's just go up to that high. All right. So there's your retraces on the downside. The 10 EMA is sitting right around the 23.6 and the 20 is sitting right around the 38.2. Okay. I can only tell you this, if it's hitting the 78, if it breaks the 78.6, then normally what happens, guys, is it goes on and it'll test the 127.2. Okay. I mean, you still got some resistance back here, but that's normally what happens. You're going to test the 127.2 and eventually the 161.8. So I'm not making that call just yet, but I'm just giving a heads up that if it does, I don't know that it's going to get way too far ahead of the 100-day moving average, and you still have the 50 EMA way back here. So just be on the lookout for some retracing, maybe some sideways action. Let the EMAs catch up a little bit, and then once they start to come up a little bit, it'll push it up and out. So hopefully that helps. All right, what was the next one? We've got XRP, Ripple, huh? Let's go look at Ripple. Well, that one was a beat down today. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, you want to look at it on the Bitfinex. Okay. Is that the, I'm assuming that's, do you want the USD? Okay. Yeah, they're both the same. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to the other one because they're pretty much the same chart. I just got to looking, and the other one I kind of had some old fibs and stuff that I just wanted to kind of see. Oh, that's interesting. I had a falling wedge right here and it broke that to the upside. Let's see, that was way back then. Let's do this. Actually, I should have used that other chart. Yeah, let's just start all over. All right. So let's go from the bottom up to the top and see what we're hitting. Okay, so we're hitting the 50% retracement. And it's trying to hold the 200-day moving average. That's interesting. So it's broke through the 200. Now it's trying to come back and see if the 200 is good as support. So Ripple might actually be, okay. Let's go back and do this. Hang on here. No, it's a 4 hour. Let's go look at a daily. Oh. Let's just see where we're at on this. Oh yeah, look at this. So you throw it on a daily and it's testing the 50 EMA. Okay. Now, let's go back here and see what it's hitting fib-wise. All right, so nothing there. Let's go from here to here. Oh, got some fib clusters lining up on good old Ripple. Okay, well, isn't that a daisy? Looky here. So from this high down to this low, it's hitting the 38.2 retracement. And then just above, you got a cluster right here, which I think ultimately if it breaks this 50 EMA, then it's, you know, the 38.2, it's going to test that. Look at this though. Hang on, let me just draw let's draw a horizontal ray on this. Right there. That's a big time resistance right there. So it's going to be resistance coming up. If it can get through that, then she might be in for a healthy run. But it's going to be a little choppy. It's going to take a little work to get through it. So, yeah. I mean, I do like the double bottom. I think that's nice. So maybe it just kind of goes a little sideways here, let this burn off a little bit, and then try to make that next run. So, so Ripple, I would say, yeah, I'm leaning bullish on Ripple. I love double bottoms. I think that could come into play. So just kind of watch your retraces on the downside. Could possibly hit the 61.8. Yeah, so just keep an eye on it. Looks strong though. And I will save that chart. Okay, what else are we looking at? Somebody mentioned what was it? Oh, ETC. Ethereum Classic. Let's go look. I haven't looked at that one in a while. Let's go see what. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's see. Well, took out the 38.2. Well, a lot of things are hitting their 50% retracement today. ETC looks like, I mean, the stochastic RSI is getting oversold. It might be getting ready for another run. Keep an eye on it. See if it wicks down to the 61.8. But it could be due for another run. I mean, it's got obvious fib cluster resistance right up here at, what is that, 29, yeah, 0.29 something. So it's got some resistance there. But all in all, not bad. Not too bad. I mean, just a nice little pullback. You don't want to see these EMAs start becoming resistance, though. That wouldn't be good. So on this way up, it needs to get through those EMAs. We don't want to see that turn into resistance. So on a bounce, make sure to watch that. You don't want that to turn into resistance. Otherwise, it could get nasty on the downside. NEO. And guys, if I missed your chart, repost it, because I have to scroll back sometimes and I may miss somebody or whatever. All right, NEO. So it took out the 38.2 retracement, which I had up there earlier. That's why it's not there anymore. If it does the same as everything else, it's probably going to come back and test the 50% retracement at 35.56. I like how the 50 EMA is hooking up. It's going to try to get through the 100 EMA. That would be bullish, and I think that would probably be the next bullish sign. These, you know, I like to see these EMAs all kind of line up with each other. So, you know, right now you got the 100 on top of the 50. So your stochastic RSI, and this is a 4-hour chart, by the way. Your stochastic RSI is starting to get oversold. Okay, hasn't crossed yet, but let's look at it in about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and see what the stochastic RSI looks like. It's probably going to be right at the bottom. And so that's a long time to wait, I know, so anything can happen. But it's not getting so far away from the 10 and 20 EMA that it can't reverse that and go back up. But you want to see the 50 and the 61.8 hold up. That would be very, very good. Okay, next chart. Anybody? Oh, somebody was asking me, so like, how do I come up and look at, you know, plays or what's happening? Well, all you have to do is go over to cryptocurrency, that's coinmarketcap.com. And so, you know, where I start looking at stuff, you know, you can look at it two different ways. But you can go like over here and you can click on the change and you can see what's up percentage-wise big for the day. So what I want to go look at Ardor you know, and see, and I know that the candle's just, or the chart's going to look crazy, but, you know, you can look at it and say, okay, start looking at it and doing the retraces and see where it pulls back to see if, you know, you want to get into a long position, or go look and see what's down big for the day, you know, and look at some of these and see if maybe some of these are just correcting themselves or if they're trying to bottom out, you know, and see if there's something that might play in there. So CoinMarketCap is a good place to go if you want to look at, you know, to try to pick out what's moving chart-wise and whatnot. If not, you can always, you know, there's plenty of people on Twitter that'll mention something and then you just have to go and chart it yourself. I mean, it's not like I'm going to trust anybody, you know, anybody else to do my charting, but, you know, but there's a lot of people that have good ideas and whatnot. So, hey, Joe, how you doing, man? So anyway, that's CoinMarketCap. Any other charts anybody want to look at? Did I miss any? Oh, wait a second. I think somebody, EOS. Okay, my bad. I was just looking back and I just saw it. EOS. Well, it should be right here. I just did that one. There it is. All right, so EOS. Let me get rid of that because it broke through it. And let's see what this one is. Where did that line up? Okay, so the big resistance overhead right here, and I think it was VWS or the support resistance question. And here's a perfect example. So look at this. You got old support back here, but then once it broke it, now it's resistance. See this? Resistance, resistance, resistance. That's not an accident. So there's probably a lot of people that shorted it right in here or took profits after the big move, and now you're getting the pullback. So let's do a fib retracement and see where we're at. Okay, so, all right, well, there's what we got. Let me remove that. Get that out of there. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, your stochastic RSI coming down, getting close to oversold. This is a 4-hour chart again. Let me go take a look at it on a daily real quick. That's rather interesting. All right, so your stochastic RSI on the daily is overbought. The regular RSI is still pretty strong. Now, just because the stochastic RSI is way up here, it can still chop sideways or go higher. Things can make moves, you know, despite being oversold or overbought. Okay, that's why I kind of look at the regular RSI to compare to see if, you know, if it's strong or not. So watching the 38.2 retracement at 828, and that's where and this is the other weird thing, is that the 10 EMA, despite this move, has not made a real strong move up yet. So that's rather curious. That's very curious. So worth watching. Some might even argue it could be a cup and handle formation. Okay? I mean, you got a rounding kind of bottom right here, and your pullback could be your handle. And so if that was to play out, you've obviously got a big move coming, probably over 10. That would be my guess. Maybe even higher than that. So, but it still has to get past that resistance. But all in all, that's, yeah, could be a cup and handle formation. It's worth watching. Worth watching. Any other charts? Oh, I know everybody was wondering about ADA. All right, so ADA. All right, so it's testing a fib cluster right now, this 2370 to 2387 area. And looks like it's going to test the 20 EMA. So let's see how far it's going to pull back, you know, before it gets a nice bounce. I mean, the stochastic RSI is starting to hook down, and after looking at this now, you've got a bearish divergence right there. That's a bearish divergence. Just on that last candle close, hooked it down, and that created the divergence. So have your stops ready on ADA. Still of the opinion, however, that it could still do a W bottom, right? You got down here and potentially up. So just be on the alert. You got the 50 EMA hooking up huge now, trying to get past the 100. So it's a bullish chart. It just has to retrace a little bit. Hopefully not very far. Let's go look at Ethereum. And here's Ethereum on a 4-hour chart. Holding the, guess what, 50% retracement so far. 50 EMA at the 61.8 retracement. And your stochastic RSI is getting oversold. So the way things look, if I'm playing it, I'm thinking it's going to hold the 50 EMA, and that should give it the next little kick. It's got some big time resistance here, that fib cluster. But obviously if it holds, it'll take that out. Yeah, and then your 161.8 retracement lines up over here with this resistance. So it's going to be, it's not going to be just a shot to the moon, guys. It's going to have to work to get past the resistance. So, but we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Looks very similar to XRP. But I like Ethereum. I think Ethereum's going to be a big winner down the road, because there's a lot of apps and stuff that use it, you know, and it's just going to be, it'll be a good one long term. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's look at Litecoin maybe. So Litecoin, yeah, made it past the 161.8, which was that's a normal reversal spot, as well as the 78.6. So got up to close to 95, reversed off that. It did break this old support or resistance level, I mean, the red line but then couldn't hold it coming back through. So that's not a huge bullish sign, but maybe it just needs a little bit more work to get past it. And once again, 50% retracement. I mean, it's just like everything else except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not retraced 50%. So Bitcoin is showing some relative strength compared to the other ones. Oh, the ETH fees are higher? Interesting. Wow. Did not know that. Did not know that. Any other chart requests, guys? Anybody else have anything? By the way, guys, don't forget to, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Trying to get to the magical 100 number. Cat. Okay. Let's look at Binance here. Let me get to... Joe, I have not done XLM. I'll do that one next, brother. XLM. Yeah, that one's been on a roll. Let's see. Cat. What exchange is Cat on? Have not. Oh yeah, I'll do TRX as well here in just a sec. Dinens, thank you very much. That's awesome, brother. Appreciate it. Somebody help me out with Cat. Oh, Cryptopia. Okay. Let's go there and take a look. Cat. Pretty thin one, isn't it? Didn't get a lot of action. Well, all right. So basically, here's what it's really all about, I guess, is right there. That's what you're watching for. What is that? 101. That's your area. It's just been kind of drifting lower. Let's see if, let me do a fib retracement and see if maybe something like a 1272 or something pops in here. Well, how about that? Okay, so it wicked below the 127.2. You're at 163 right now. So, or 160, yeah, 160 to 163, something like that. But you got these EMAs coming down. I mean, if you're risky, now you do have both RSIs that are down here as well. They're both oversold. So, I mean, I guess you could take a small position. I'm not, obviously a financial advisor, so I can't give financial advice, but somebody could possibly take a small position in case it reverses off this. But to me, I would almost rather see it down here. Around 105 would be like a prime time area to buy, but you could just kind of stagger your buys a little bit as it goes down. But it's one of those that bounces. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It tries to make moves, but it is in a long downtrend. I would not go long the thing, like long term, but maybe as a swing trade it might be all right. So that's kind of my thoughts on Cat. Let's see, what did we have? Joe wants to look at Stellar. Let's go look at Stellar. Let's see, I thought I had that. There we Yeah, I charted that one today. Yeah. And it was hard to line up some fibs on this one, let me tell you. The 261.8 was the area I could come up with. Obviously, this old high back here from where it started. But, man, look at this. I mean, the 10 and the 20 EMA. And, folks, that's what you got to watch, too. I mean, when you get like a big-time, move like this, sometimes it's just going to ride the 10 and 20 EMAs. And it could just keep going and just keep riding those. And then while the 50 comes up, and at some point it'll come down and it'll test the 20. And then at some point it'll come down and it'll test the 50. But, that's just hard to say when. Let's do some fibs on it real quick and see what we got. Okay, so, oh yeah, well look at this. So right now, it's retraced to the 38.2 retracement, which is also the 10 EMA. And so it's trying to hold that area. So you got stochastic RSI coming down. The regular RSI is still overbought. Let's look at it on a daily real quick and see. I know there's not much data on it. Wow, what a move. Oh, that was unbelievable. That's a double right there, almost a double. That's crazy. Yeah, isn't XLM one of the ones being talked about going on Coinbase? Or am I wrong on that? Thought it was. I thought it might be getting listed on Coinbase. I might be wrong on that. Or rumors of. All right, so that's the daily right there, and you can see, look how far ahead it is of the 10 and the 20 on this one, though. So what you would kind of like to see. Hey, what's up, Vegeta? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, we'll see on Stellar. I mean, the stochastic, look at this, though. The stochastic RSI is like way high. And then you got that old high over here. Yeah, let's just kind of see what happens. I mean, some Elliott wave guys may say 1, 2, third wave. And so your fourth wave could actually come down to here and still be a valid count, because if I'm remembering my Elliott waves, a fourth wave cannot violate the first wave. If I remember. Yeah, it's crazy high right now, but I've seen stranger things, but you'd kind of like to see a nice little sideways to whatever down, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like into late July, and then somewhere from there you get this that comes down a little bit and then finds a little area to, because it doesn't have to go all the way down. You can see what happened back here. So then take off. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be one to watch as well. I don't know that I would be jumping in right now, but it's kind of high. Could go higher. Who knows? Let's see. What else did I miss? TRX. Man, what a wick on that one today. Holy cow. Yep, there it is. Oh, ooh. Uh-oh. Wow. What is going on with Tron here? That's ugly. That is not looking good at all. Well, so obviously needs to hold oops, needs to hold that right there. If not, she's coming down to 490-ish. Coming down to 490-ish. And that's a daily chart, and the stochastic RSI got overbought. Couldn't even get past the 20 EMA. I mean, couldn't get a candle close to it. Man. Wow. Yeah, that's an ugly move right there. That is not pretty. But if it does double bottom right here, you know, and we'll see, then it still has to get past this resistance. And if it does, it could possibly get to 642, but that is looking very, very unlikely at the moment. Yeah, this could get rather ugly. We'll see. There you go, Vegeta. Yeah, you got into the strong one. So that's what I've got on TRX. What's next? Any questions about the market or any thoughts you wanted me to give on something, or what do we got? Anything? Oh, you're welcome, man. You are welcome. My pleasure. Haven't looked at, seen a lot of things. Everything's kind of, all the altcoins at least are all trying to sell off here. At least most of them. But we'll see. Oh, I did want to show you this. This is the Bitcoin shorts chart. And this is on TradingView. I posted this a while back. And we'll see what happens with this. But I pointed out the reversal pattern right here. And that was back in April. That's when the market, when Bitcoin made its move. Okay. And then I pointed out this reversal, which has ultimately caused our next move, or at least our current move up. So this trend line here is just about gone. I mean, it's trying to hang on for dear life, but I'm just about ready to call it done. And then 78.6 retracement right below it. And obviously, if it gets past that, then that would propel Bitcoin to the 8,000 area, I would think. That's my guess. Maybe higher. VeChain. I sure will. Hang on here. What is that? Ven? Is that what it is? V-E-N, I think. Ven. Do you want me to look at the USD pair, or do you want me to look at the Bitcoin pair? Or does it matter? I don't know if you're in or if you're looking at one of those or not. Do you want the Bitcoin pair or the USD pair? No matter. Let's go to BTC. Wow, what is going on with this one? Ooh. Let's see. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This thing went from went from, what is that, 2,200 to 75,000 or 80,000. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's do this. I'm not going to use that little wick right there. That's the opening day of it. Let's just, yeah, let me actually go back here. I need to move this out so I catch the right wick. Let's do, ooh, isn't that interesting? All right, so well, there's what you got, fib-wise. Let me do a bigger one here. Let me go over here. Let's do from here to here. And let's see if anything pops up there. Nope. Yeah, just that. Okay. Wow. Whew. Look at this. Look at this. Man, that's tempting. That is really tempting. So you got your regular RSI way down here. Let me blow this up a little bit. Your regular RSI is like, oh, it's just completely oversold. I mean, it could obviously go just a little bit lower, and then your stochastic RSI is at the bottom as well. And it hit the 127.2 retracement, which is known to be a nice reversal area. So, man, I mean, I guess you could start trying to position yourself, you know? You could. I mean, it just, I know everybody gets scared about this big old long, but, you know, but then again, if you have stop losses, that protects you, right? So, you know, you could almost get in and then put you a stop loss, you know, just under that 127.2 just in case. Because if it loses that, it's probably headed down to the 78.6 right here from a longer term, you know, perspective, and then even down to here. But man, yeah, you could actually take a position. Let me look at something else. One more thing real quick. I'm just eyeballing this, and I don't know if this lines up or not. Let's do a trend-based. Let's see where this lines up. So if that move right there equals this one, where does that line up? No, that ain't gonna work. Okay. So, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, so yeah, you could take a position in here. I mean, small. I don't think I would, you know, go in anything huge or go all in on it, but you know, it's worth maybe throwing a little bit at, not much, and then when it looks like it might be trying to turn, then you could always add to your position, but you don't ever want to go in all in on something when it's in a downtrend like this. So, in my opinion. C for crypto, DGB. Was you not in here when I went over it? I can go over it again. If not, I mean, it's no biggie. Hey, C for crypto, I don't mind going over it again. You don't have to go back in the video. I can go over it real quick one more time. It's not a big deal. Let's go here. And let's go to DGB. Okay, so like I was saying, and this is a daily chart, but DGB had this resistance back in here, and so what's happening now is once it broke through it, it's coming down, and now this area right here becomes support. So that's what we want to see hold. We want to see this little area right in here, and I mean, and it doesn't have to be that exact number, okay? It could be a little bit below. I mean, it's not by much, but I've got a 50% retracement and a fib extension right here at 494. So, but it's doing a good job of holding the 20-day EMA. And then what's happened this whole time is that, man, it's the stochastic RSI is coming down, and price, even though it came from up here down to here, it's still just kind of basing in this area, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it still looks really bullish. I mean, it's just kind of sitting. I know, some people are like, well, heck, Bitcoin made that huge move and Digibyte didn't do nothing. Well, Digibyte was up when Bitcoin was down, so it's holding its own. I mean, it's not going to, be like a dollar tomorrow or anything like that, but it's holding its own. I mean, it's a long-term hold, bro. For me, it is, at least. Oh, you wanted to see the USD pair. The only I can't pull it up on any other exchange that's in my charting software that'll show the USD pair. BCD. Let's go take a look at BCD. Is that on Binance? BCD. Yep, there it is. Never mind. Sorry. Oh, Bitcoin Diamond. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So it's been testing the 100-day moving average, EMA, right here. Okay, and let's go and see why it is stopping where it's stopping. It's stopping there for a reason. Other than that. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love doing it. I love doing it. Just want to try to help people. That's all I'm here for. Okay, so 78.6, it kind of wicked to, close to. Now let's take a look at something else here. Let's do this. That was kind of a swing high. Yeah. Take that out. Let's do a retracement on the downside real quick. And let's go. Nope, not the 50. 61.8. And let's look at this one. See if anything good's there. Yeah, okay. All right, so on BCD, you're basically, looks like kind of stuck here in a range. But overall, it almost looks like a V kind of, but it's not. I don't know. This one's kind of weird. I think I need to take that 61.8 out of there. I think it just broke that. Yeah. So look at this. When I zoom in on this, here's kind of what's going on. You see how it's holding the 50 EMA right here in yellow? It's trying to hold that, and it's close enough to the 61.8, but it's below it, and I don't like that, so I'm just going to take it out of there. So below the 50 EMA, and it's going to come down and test the 78.6. Okay? But your 10 and 20 are still in the right proportion, at least. The 10's on top. So if it does reverse, it could get back above those. And that's what needs to happen. I mean, what you don't want to see happen is that on a bounce, that it come up here and it fail at the 10 EMA. If you know, kind of like this candle here, it did it right here and it didn't like it, so it rejected off of it. And now it's coming down. Well, it's probably going to try again. And if it does try again and it fails, then that's probably your signal that you just want to say, okay, I need to reassess it. And just have your stops in place and, you know, see what happens. But, you know, yeah, your stochastic RSI is starting to slope down. The regular RSI is still fairly strong. It's not bad. But you just need to watch it. You know, the only other thing I'll say about it too is that look back here. That's a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern right there. That means bears take control. Now, the flip side to that is that back here you had a nice little reversal pattern when bears looked like they were gaining control, and they reversed that, right? And so this little area that it's in right now is big because you got that big green candle back there, and that's where heavy buying was. And then also over here at the 78.6 when it tried to retrace and it bounced up. This little candle right here. So this whole area right in here it's big support. Now if it breaks below that, then you got to be a little worried. But right now it's still in an uptrend, right? It's making higher lows. Higher low, higher low. See if it makes another higher low. If it does, that'll be a very bullish indication of it right there. So, any other chart requests? ETC. Let's see, I just went over that one. Let's go back and take a look at it. There we go. All right. So once again, what we've got, you know, we had this move up. It came up and started hitting some resistance. We had a fib cluster right up in here that it hit and didn't like. And so now it's pulling back. It's retraced 50% of the move. And it's still holding the 100 EMA. Your stochastic RSI is now oversold, okay? And your regular RSI is, I mean, it's low enough that it's got a lot of room to go up. So you could be watching for a bounce in here fairly soon, but what you want to do is you want to get back above the 10 and 20 EMAs. What you don't want is you do not want, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. What you do not want is you do not want to go up here to where the 10 and the 20 are and get rejected. Okay? Because that'll create more selling pressure. And then you start looking at lower fib extensions. So what you want is you want a nice little bounce, hopefully fairly soon, off this to get it going back in the right direction and hopefully get past that fib cluster right there. So just watch that 10 and 20 EMA on your daily chart. Okay, that's going to be the key on this one. Okay. My Bitcoin end of price, end of year price prediction. You know, I tend not to get into trying to predict where it's going to go. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could play the game, but don't ever hold me to it. But I think, depending on what happens with the ETF and whatnot and blah blah, I'll throw 10,000 out there. How's that? I'll just throw 10,000 out there. I could be way wrong. It could be higher. It could be a lot lower. I don't know, but I'm just throwing 10,000 out there because it's somewhere in the middle. So, anyway. Again, don't hold me to that. That's kind of a half-assed guess. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Any other questions? Any other 30K? Yeah, I know, right? 30K would be really nice. It would be. Yeah, I'm here, Chris. Bitcoin price for today. Okay. Well, like I said, let's go over and take a look at it. So here's my 4-hour chart. Okay. And what I'm really thinking is going to happen with Bitcoin is we had this huge resistance zone and or so-called neckline from our inverted head and shoulders. And once it finally broke through, you saw the huge pop. I think what really needs to happen, and I might be totally wrong, but I would like to almost see it come back and retest this area and make sure that it's going to be support. I want to see old resistance become new support and then launch off that. I mean, I don't like seeing parabolic moves going to the moon and getting way ahead of themselves. I want to see some consolidation. I want to see some, you know, down to slightly sideways action and then test this area or come close to it. Maybe even the 38.2 might be enough. I don't know. But I just want to make sure that this area right here is going to be support now. And if it does, then that'll be huge. That will be huge. And the reason, one of the other reasons I think it'll get there is that our stochastic RSI is hooking down, our regular RSI is way overbought. So maybe a move down into here on the RSI, and then by that time, maybe we're here on the 38.2 or the 50% retracement. I mean, it could actually come down to the 61.8, you know, which is around, what, 6,700? But it's still within that area that, you know, it's not going to, you know, you don't want to look at the top wick and say, okay, well, if it breaks that, it's going down. No, it can be within a few points right in this range. So that's what I would like to see happen. I want to see a little bit of consolidation down and then a move up. Let's build up some steam on the indicators for the next move up. That's my opinion. Any other charts to look at? Does anybody have any questions like about Fibonacci or how I come up with what I come up with, or what is a fib cluster or patterns or anything like that. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of stuff pull back a little bit more. Any other questions, guys? Anybody need any chart requests or anything else to look at? So what is, okay, so you're posting this, what is this 43.9% that this dominance? Where are you getting that? And what is, you know, kind of tell me what where you're getting that at. I'm going to save this VIN chart. It's going to be one to watch. Oh, okay, okay, I see. Where do you come up with that number? If you don't mind my asking. Oh, really? Okay, I guess I never noticed it there. Okay. Yeah, appreciate that. I'll take a look. I will definitely take a look. Guys, is there any other questions? I mean, anything about charts or charting, or don't be afraid, speak up. There's no such thing as a stupid question. XEM. Let me make sure I save the ETC chart. XEM. Forgive my cats, guys. Let's see, XEM. Well, Guess you could do probably something like this. Let's see what kind of fib retracements we got. All right, so couldn't get past the 38.2 retracement on the upside, and you see the wicks coming out. That just means sellers. RSI is kind of flat, not really going anywhere. Same here, although it's fairly low. Well, I don't know. It could be, it's making higher lows, but I mean, until it gets past the 38.2, I don't know that I'd be going anywhere with it. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It just looks weird to me, and when something looks weird to me, I kind of tend to stay away from it. Let's do this as well. Let's just see what happens here. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could stay in this little range for the rest of the month before it finally does something, break down or break up. So, I don't know. I mean, I would rather see play a breakout on it instead of, because it could easily break down. It could easily break down out of this, and if it does, it's going to get nasty. So that is my opinion. I would be careful. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. Any other charts to look at? Everything's kind of stabilizing a little bit. Still think Bitcoin is probably going to come down a little bit further. We shall see, though. All right, guys, I'm going to throw it out here for because there's a delay, but I'll give you all about 20 seconds or so. If there's any other charts, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll shut her down. And I do appreciate you guys coming in. Means a lot. So we'll do it. We'll try to do this more often. I like being able to look at the charts and talk about them and show you guys instead of a lot of times posting, because it's always hard to put it into words exactly the way I'm thinking. And so all right, guys. Well, I sure appreciate everybody coming in. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you around soon. Thanks, guys.